Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Own Your Ship podcast. If this is your first time listening to this podcast or watching it, where have you been? If you are interested in anything love, happiness, relationships, personal development, then this is the podcast for you. If you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can know when a new episode drops. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and leave a review because that will help get this podcast across to many other people who may not even know it exists. If you guys have already seen the title of the episode, then you know what we're going to be talking about. If you have not, I'll go ahead and break it to you. You know the routine. I always got my tablet, always got my note. All right. We're talking about starting over after a failed relationship. Yeah, that's a doozy. That's the big one. We're in a new year, and new year means new opportunities, new situations, new relationships. And I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about starting over after going through a failed relationship. So, for those of you again who don't know me, I am a marriage and family therapist intern. What that means is that I am working towards getting my master's and then eventually working towards getting my license, which will just allow me to work independently of a supervisor. I'm currently under supervision right now. I do see clients in the state of Virginia. If that's something you're interested in, I'll leave something in the show notes for you and you can check that out later. So let's dive in. So, starting over after a relationship has ended is tough, especially when you're now in a new relationship and you're trying to get into the swing of things. It can be tough. I understand that. But there are some things that I want you guys to look at and really take some time to really do that introspection to figure out where you're at. And the first point I want to share with you is to take time to heal. I used to hear growing up, and I'm sure you guys heard it too. The best way to get over one man is to get under another. Now, isn't that the biggest load of crock bull you've ever heard? Isn't it? I would never recommend that you do that. You need to take that time to heal. To really heal, you need to take that time to process those emotions, process those feelings. And that might sometimes even look like you talking to a trusted friend or family member or even a therapist. The first idea, the first thought never should be to run into a new relationship. It should always be making sure you're good, making sure you're healed, making sure you're prepared emotionally, mentally, physically for this new relationship. The next point is to reflect on the relationship. A part of the healing process requires you to sometimes get into places that might not be comfortable. Thinking about the past relationship and the things you did or did not do, or the things they did or did not do, is a good place for you to really understand who you were in the relationship. The challenges you faced can help you make better decisions moving forward. So never discount the relationship because it ended and things didn't go well. There's always a learning opportunity in these situations. Really take some time to reflect on that, think about that, and see how you can improve on being a better version of yourself for the next relationship. The next point I want to share is about setting boundaries. Oh, y'all already know how I feel about boundaries. That was one of my words for 2022, and I did very, very well with implementing boundaries. After you've gone through a relationship that ended, it's important for you to establish boundaries. So if the relationship is done, there's no reason for you to be calling them back and checking in on them, how you doing, and I'm just trying to see if you good, if you want to hang out. No, no. That's not good for your sanity. That's not good for your growth. You need to be able to cut it off. There's a reason you guys are exes. Establish those boundaries, especially as it pertains to emotional mentality or your emotional being. You don't want to keep putting yourself in a position, especially if you still have feelings for the person, to still be under that tug of war. Cut it loose, create that boundary. If it means you got to block numbers, delete off social media, do what you got to do, but create that boundary for yourself. The next point I want to share with you is focus on self-care. Everybody has their own definition of what self-care means to them, and that's fine. That's cool. It's really about taking care of yourself. For some people, therapy is self-care. I consider that self-care. For some people, going to a massage therapist is self-care. Going once a month or maybe every 2 weeks. Going to get a facial done is self-care. Going to watch a game is self-care. You have to identify what is important to you and take time in making yourself feel better, fulfilling your needs, fulfilling yourself. In addition to that, I suggest keeping up with your exercise, keeping up with your sleeping habits, healthy sleeping habit. That is, it's a part of self-care. Your body will thank you for it. Use the time to do things that bring you joy, bring you happiness. If you love to paint, go paint. If you love to sing, go sing. Just get back to the core of the things that make you happy. Then finally, I want to share with you, take time to rediscover yourself. People don't realize this, but when you go through relationships, especially relationships that have ended not that great, you're never the same person you are when you leave that relationship, when you started that relationship. This part of life will allow you to build a stronger sense of self and increase your own confidence. And I think that's something that is imperative, especially if you've already moved on and you're in a new relationship. The last thing you want to do is bring the baggage and the load of what you experienced in your past relationship in your new relationship. That's not fair to the new partner. They shouldn't have to fight and deal with the issues that your ex put on you. You've got to take ownership. Yes, your ex did you wrong, or yes, the relationship didn't work, but that's not this new person's fault. It's your responsibility to own your feelings, own your ship, fix it, and don't cast it on this new person that's coming in the relationship. I know that starting over is tough. Starting over can be scary, can be challenging. You might be wondering, well, what if they do what my ex did? All understandable. And not because you've healed from an experience means that you forget. It's important for you to pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the things that are considered red flags. If it don't sit right with you, don't settle. The response should never be, but she's nice to me. Oh, he treats me great, so I can forgo him doing all this other stuff. No. It comes back to the boundaries. Create boundaries and enforce them. Stick to them. It's tough, but it can be done. And I know it can be done because I wrote a book about this. I wrote a book about creating strong foundations in relationships. It's an ebook. I wrote this at the end of last year when I noticed these common traits that I kept seeing in clients over and over again. It always came back to a foundational issue. So I want you guys to go ahead and grab my new ebook, Love Under Construction, when resetting your relationship foundation is your only option. This ebook is filled with so many foundational tools to help you work through things like communication, character, coins, commitment, forgiveness. We are going to be talking about all these different things in the ebook. It's filled with journal prompts that's going to help you take a deep look at yourself and have the tough conversations with your partner. There are going to be exercises to see how you handle conflict. There's also a couples budget sheet that you can use to create a budget with your partner for this new year. And it's a month-to-month budget sheet, so you can do it every month and set yourself up for financial happiness. So with that being said, I'm going to leave the link for the ebook here in the notes, in the show notes. If you're interested, please go check it out. This is a book that's a game changer for this year. We're starting this year off on the right foot and we're focusing on the ground up. So we're starting with the foundation. You guys already know you cannot put in the windows if you ain't had the foundation laid. So let's focus on building or rebuilding that foundation this year and getting ourselves on the right track. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You know I like to keep it short and sweet. If you've missed previous episodes, go ahead, check them out here and let me know what you think. So until we meet again, guys, please take care.